Gangster freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
B1 brothers and sisters, how are you all doing this evening? If you guys are new to the channel, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. Please make sure you are subscribed as you guys are coming in. If you guys have already subscribed, and even if you haven't, please make sure you leave a like on this broadcast, because we're going to have a very educational broadcast. And this is something I wanted to talk about for a while, and I definitely want to talk about it more so because of what's happened in the last couple of days. But let me make sure everything's set up. I like to, when I go live, just, a little bit of information. When I go live, what I like to do is I like to use my phone to kind of monitor the live too, because sometimes the comments come up a little bit faster on the phone, well, a lot faster to be honest, on the phone than on the computer. So I can see it there, and I don't want to talk about something, way before. I kind of want to be as close as possible. So yeah, I'll do that. If you guys are coming in, if you guys could subscribe, if you guys haven't done so, make sure you leave a like on the channel and share this broadcast as well too. But B1 to every single last one of you guys in the room already. We have our sister Nikki, we have our brother the Black Nuremberg, the other sister Nikki. Well, there's Nikki the God, and then Get Noticed with Nikki. So we got two Nikki's in the building. Dark Angel, Cool Kezi, and Film Animation Art. All right. Aston Gray, B1 UK. All right, so B1 to everybody. Now, before we get started with tonight's subject, I don't know if you guys have seen this or heard about this. I'm sure you have. It's all over the internet. I want to make something very clear. Okay. Recently, Carolyn Bryant, which was the woman who pretty much orchestrated the kidnap and murder of Emmett Till, she was found in Kentucky. I guess she's at some type of care for the sick, demented demons or something like that. I'm not sure exactly where she is in Kentucky, but she's in Kentucky, and reports have found that she's has cancer. She's old. She's got hospice. She's got all of these health issues. And if you guys know about hospice, hospice is a medical term, pretty much meaning that you have a terminal illness and doctors don't predict that you're going to be able to live through it. That's pretty much what it is. Like whatever, it could be with your heart or whatever the case may be, but your sickness is going to take your life relatively soon. So that's kind of what it is. Now, people are saying, wow, she has all of these health things. She's not even going to be able to live that much longer. She's not going to be able to live that much longer, guys. And what I have to say is, at this point, if she's not going to be able to live that much longer, then she needs to live the rest of her life in prison. She needs to spend however long it is. It doesn't matter if it's a day. If she lives for a year, a month, a day, another hour, she needs to be in prison. That's it. It's final. Okay. They saying the whole hospice stuff, like we're supposed to feel some type of empathy for her. Like we're supposed to feel sorry, like, oh, she's gotten her punishment already. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn at all. She needs to be in prison. She's lived too long, okay, without any consequences. She's been getting away with any consequences whatsoever after already confessing to lie. She's been getting. Now, I've already talked about her in my previous broadcast, so I'm not gonna go too much into her. But all of that hospice, cancer, I don't care if she was growing a second head out of her neck. I do not care at all. She needs to be in prison. I'm sure they got oxygen tanks in prison, and if they don't, you was on hospice, you wasn't breathing that much longer anyway. They got canes in prison. They sending old Nazis to jail, and I know I discussed this last time, but yeah, she still needs to get locked up. I don't care that she's on. I do not care at all that she's on hospice at all. Okay. Okay. So needed to get that out the way. Needed to get that out the way. Now, the theme of this broadcast tonight is about to be the self-reflection and the damage of lying to yourself. And the reason why I say that is because lying to yourself, it prevents you from being able to reflect on your flaws. Because we all have flaws. I have flaws. You all have flaws. Everybody in the world has flaws. Nobody in the world is perfect. Okay. Um, and when you lie to yourself to prevent yourself from getting your feelings hurt, then you shield yourself or you veil yourself from the reality that you need to change or the seriousness that you need to change. And when you do that, you prevent yourself from self-improvement. And as a people, especially as FBA, we are constantly working on self-improvement. Self-improvement is a big factor in life. That's why I selectively decided to wear the shirt Black Empowerment, not because it's a great high quality shirt that you guys should definitely buy, but because that's kind of gonna be like a part of the theme of tonight's video, Black empowerment. When we talk about Black empowerment, we talk about Black excellence. We're not just talking about um we're not just talking about reparations. Now that's a big part of Black empowerment. We are talking about reparations. We're not only talking about group economics, we're also talking about empowering yourself as an individual. It's all around empowerment. Okay, it's not just one empowerment financially, one empowerment politically. It's the empowerment of the Black race collectively. And as FBA, we're focusing on our FBA empowerment. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So when we talk about empowerment, Black empowerment, when we talk about self-improvement, you need to be around, first off, honest people who will tell you the truth about yourself. You need to be around honest people. That's number one. Number two, and I feel like this is kind of goes side hand in hand with number one, you also need to be coachable. You need to be somebody can say, hey, um you kind of bugging a little bit over there. You kind of wild and you getting too emotional, or I notice you kind of let yourself go a little bit, or hey, you need to. I know you broke up with somebody or whatever the case. You lost your job. I don't know. Whatever happened, you still need you moped and pout for a day or two. Now you kind of need to get back up and you kind of need to get back to grinding. You got to get back on your hustle. You need people around you um who are going to tell you those things, and you need to be the type of person who wants to see yourself improve, so much so to the point where you are listening to those people, you're taking in what those people have to tell you. All right, so that gives me to the first video. Now all of this is going to be a build up off of the main focus of tonight. It's all going to be a build up off of that, but let me show you guys the first video we have here. Now if you guys have young children, you might want to turn them away for a few minutes, because this does show women in what a lot would consider um, scantily clad clothing. Now, of course, let me zoom in a tad bit. Now, as you can see, I want you to see this video. This says Slim Thick 2022 was an MF Big Vibe. Now, I want you to look at some of these women that they're calling swim thick. They're calling thick. Okay. Just gonna show it for a little bit. Every single woman you see, or that I can see, is obese. There's not one that is considered thick at all. They're all in a very unhealthy state when it comes to their body weight. Very unhealthy. Okay, and this isn't a diss to them, because we're gonna have constructive criticism right here. I'm not dissing none of these sisters. I wish them the best. I 100% honestly do. But and so this is what I said. I didn't make a joke, because a lot of people were making jokes. I didn't make a joke. I said we live in a society that promotes blatantly lying to yourself and to other people to spare feelings. It's to a point where you'll defend unhealthy habits so people won't be offended. In the words of Nino, we need to bring back shaming. Um, if everybody knows, that's Nino Black. Okay. Now, of course, that isn't thick. That's not thick. No, not a damn person is slim. No, of course, nobody is even healthy looking. Now they want to say plus size and everything. Now let me turn this down so you guys can see. People call stuff like that thick. People say stuff like plus size. People say like, yeah. People say small little cute words like that because they don't want to use the word fat, because fat is just um in society, fat is undesirable. So you want to use words that let you know, okay, well, you're plus size. Okay, that's the cute way of saying, okay, you got a little bit too much weight on you. All right. I'm not beating up on women that don't find attractive, or that I don't find, or yeah, they say curvy, and things like that to cover it up. I'm not trying to beat up on them sisters. I want the best for them sisters, but the issue that I find, the main issue, is with the comments. The main issue I'm seeing is with the comments, and I'm gonna show you that to you in just a minute. Okay, let me see if I want it, because I made a comment under the video, and I also quote tweeted a comment. Okay, so hold on. Now this is the comment I made. I'm gonna show the comment I made under the video real quick. Now I just pulled that up. Let me show it to you. Comment I made under the video. If this was a video, if this video was a bunch of men who were the same size, nobody would have a problem saying they're fat and unhealthy. But only when you're talking about women does the word, quote, fat shaming come up, or how it can be healthy and how you can be healthy and obese at the same time. Now, people are saying things like, oh, just because they're morbidly obese does not mean they have any health issues at all. They can be just as healthy, I guess, and this is honestly what they're saying in the comments. If you look in the video in the comments, they're honestly saying, just because people are obese does not mean in the slightest bit that they are less healthy than somebody who is in shape. That's what they're saying. They're saying that all of these women can be just as healthy as a fitness athlete. So I'm all like, okay, now that is stuff that that women tell to other women, and simps tell to women who can't get a woman that's attractive. And this isn't a diss to those sisters. And drop my microphone. Okay, hold on, y'all. All right, I'm saying this to say, when you see a fat man, nobody's saying, oh, well, he don't need to lose no weight. Why are you telling him to lose weight? You're fat shaming. No, nobody says that to the men. Nobody says to the men, okay, that's fat shaming. You shouldn't be talking to them like that. Why can't you just let them live? Nobody said, when it comes to the men being corrected, nobody rushes in with these shaming defense. You can't shame a man. A man is always designed to self-improve, which is good, which is what it's supposed to be like. The only issue is when we have the same standard for some of these women, then all of a sudden, okay, well, that's fat. Why are you hating on her because she's fat? Why can't she be plus size? You don't know, she could be healthier than you. Look, okay. And this is what I say, you need to be around people who care to see you succeed, who care to see you grow. Okay? Anybody around you, if you're 300 plus pounds, you're 5'5", 300 plus pounds, anybody around you that's telling you you don't need to lose any weight is lying to you, and is somebody you shouldn't be keeping around you. Now I want to show you some of the comments here. Now it says, the mic dropped before you can finish. Exactly. The mic dropped before I could even finish. Anyway. And of course, too, not true. They also they die quicker when they get COVID and things like that. Exactly. This isn't just about them. This isn't about them being unattractive or undesirable. We're talking about their life, not just dying from certain diseases or being subject to certain diseases, but we're also talking about the quality of life that they have. Okay. The fact that they gotta take a lot of medication, the fact that any sickness, can put them at a state of, life risking, like life altering situation, a life altering situation, or anything like that. It's the quality of life, the fact that you grow, the fact that you develop problems on your heart. Anything in excess, I mean, all human beings have fat, because fat is healthy to a degree. Fat is healthy. You have to have some level of fat in your body, but you're supposed to have a proportionate amount of body fat, which can depend on your fitness level, but is not supposed to be to that degree at all. That's a very bad excess. Your arteries getting blood clots, getting all of these health defects, having diabetes, just being at a state where if a building burns down, you can barely get out of there. That's not a good situation. If you really are concerned, you would tell the truth to these women. So let me continue to say, look at the deflection, and we got to get past this. Look at the deflection. All right. So we're in here saying, also, people are shitting on these women in the comments. The only ones who are defending them are other women, and that's the problem. So maybe you all should start defending yourselves when it comes to fat shaming as well. No, no, no. It's not defending. It's the fact that you need to fix yourself. See, the thing is with men, we don't really have men as a society, the culture of manhood. We don't really have the defense mechanism of shaming to cover up for other men's flaws. You know, if we see a man who's clearly out of weight, if we see a man who's clearly letting himself go, he's sloppy fat, he's lazy, unmotivated, undisciplined, and somebody says, hey man, you need to get up, you need to get it together, man. What's good with you, Joe? Like, come on. And then somebody's, oh, why are you fat shaming him? Men don't say that because men know the necessity of self-improvement, and a lot of sisters do. I'm not blaming all sisters. I'm not trying to paint all sisters with a broad brush, but I'm trying to say that there is a percentage of them that needs correction. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Hold on. Now, looking at some of the comments. Now, there was a lot more comments. I don't know. Let me see. To get to that, it was like 11 comments. Not sure what happened. Yeah, see, like it was like 11 different comments. No, hold on. That's not. I'm not trying to make a comment. If I can't see the comments, then it is what it is. Okay. Not sure why it's. Oh yeah, she got 8 comments. Oh yeah, that's where it was. Got to go under her thing. And it was a lot of the brothers correcting her, saying that was wrong for her to do. Now I want to get to my thing. What I said about the video. Now, hold on. Let me go back. Okay. Now this is what I said. Now we had a lot of people agreeing. This person, and I've ran into it with him too. If you guys are familiar with the channel, you guys know. Shaming doesn't change. Limited health care, access to address critical health conditions, or that mental conditions like depression that cause / contribute to weight gain. Food deserts, low quality food, low paying jobs with low hours or statutory work. Okay, listen. We're not gonna blame this on food deserts. We're not gonna blame this on, oh yeah, you can't buy healthy food. This is just a condition. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that because there's enough women out there who grow up in very poor conditions and don't let themselves get out of shape like that. There's a ton of black women who would never let themselves get out of shape like that, and they grew up just as poor as the next person. So we're not going to say, oh, it's the food deserts. No, the food deserts doesn't make you eat Cheetos every single day. The food deserts doesn't make you eat a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts. And I'm not trying to insult the sisters. I'm just trying to say all of the excuses that we're making, the lying that we're making to cover up these women from self-improvement is wrong. You don't see a lot of, and this is the problem, what we have when it comes to certain black women, is that, let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys. You don't see the same energy when it comes to black men. When it comes to black men being out of shape, when it comes to black men being overweight, you don't see, oh, well, Popeyes is the only thing available for him to eat. Oh, you don't, he might not have steady employment. He might see low income jobs. What about the health clinic? When you eat unhealthy like this, when you eat out of gluttony and obsession, then you are going to add to your health conditions. Now, I do understand 100% that access to healthy foods, access to all of these things is difficult when it comes to our people. I understand that. I'm trying to be balanced with the situation. However, we cannot say, "Oh, we shouldn't shame." No. When I say shame, we need to get back to the point where we look at each other and we say, "Hey, man, this ain't a good look. Hey, you can't be wilding out like that." You know what I'm saying? Now, as FBA, we've always understood the importance of representing yourself well, the importance of carrying yourself well. We would hold our families um to that standard. When we would go out to the family event, um, and you would see, our parents, your parents, remember, and they would be making sure your clothes is nice, and they would be making sure your shoes is on especially when you go out in front of family, because you have to represent yourself and the family well. You don't want to be going out, your hair is all looking crazy. On the first day of school, you got your nice outfit, because you don't want to be representing yourself like you just woke up out of bed, just rolled out of bed, and nobody cares about you, and your life isn't together. It's representing yourself well. Let me tell you a personal story, briefly. I'm gonna tell you a personal story about when I was in UPS. There was a black man named Leon. Okay, FBA brother named Leon. He was kind of older, around late 40s, 50s, around that time, right? Okay. This man was one of the absolute cleanest men I've ever seen in my life. Neat, super neat, very clean. Me and him used to work together. We used to have conversations, and I would ask him like, "Hey, I don't understand how you're in a factory. We're shipping boxes with dirt and grime and all of that stuff, and you stay clean." Like, I mean, he was there for a long time, so practice makes perfect. But I would ask him, and he was like, "Yeah, I've always been the type of person to make sure I carry myself well. My appearance is very important to me, and I would always want to make sure I carry myself where my clothes are clean and set up the day before I go to work. So when I wake up at work, I'm not searching through my drawers." And now he didn't say all of this stuff necessarily, but I'm kind of breaking down what he was explaining. I'm not searching through my drawers and looking for things. I'm ready. I'm prepared. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready. That's kind of what he was saying. Um, and the importance of representing yourself well. That way, when he talked to the managers, if he had a complaint, they took him serious because of how well he represented himself. And this is how, as FBA, we have a culture of carrying ourselves like this. So it's a shame when we have certain people, and a lot of them are non-FBA, but it's a shame when we have certain people who don't see the importance of carrying yourself in a proper manner. And this is what I say when it comes to the shaming. When we see somebody, and we would have that in our culture, when somebody would come up and they would be looking all dusty and bummy. They would have a family member. You would have your uncle, okay, pull you to the side. You would have your grandma, your auntie pull you to the side, and they would be all like, "Hey, I don't know what you got going on. If you want to talk about this after the fact, but you need to pull yourself together, because this is a bad look on the family. You need to pull yourself. I don't know what you got going on, but go change your clothes, go do something, go take a shower or whatever the case may be, because you are representing yourself poorly, and you need to fix yourself." And that is the importance of keeping people in your circle that will do that for you, that care enough about you to do that for you. Okay. Let me get to some of the comments before I continue. B1 Toya, how you doing? RG Titan, how you doing? Lee Daniel, Jay Daniel, sorry, how you doing? Now, exactly. She says women have more fat than men for obvious reasons. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. As far as fat, there is a healthy level of fat. I have fat. Everybody has fat. You have fat. We all have fat because it's necessary. It's actually, and I think there was one like special on this, like genetic birth defect, where it was like a girl who was born without any fat, and it was very unhealthy for her. You have to have fat. There is a certain level of healthy fat that you have to have. And women, because women have different bodies, women have different levels of fat than men do. Okay, so that's 100% correct. But you can't be obese with it. Guys, please make sure you guys are liking the broadcast. Please make sure you guys are liking the broadcast here. Okay. Now, Toya Lee says, I am a feminine F foundational Black American, and I totally agree with you. This weight situation is completely out of control. I have learned to incorporate exercise and at least 3 times a week. And yeah, and says, how are we supposed to fight off a white supremacist who is in shape when we are out of shape? They train literally every day for hours. Exactly. When you get ready, you don't have to stay ready. Being in shape is a part of your self-defense. Okay. If any of those women were being attacked, just being jumped, they wouldn't be able to defend themselves. When people have excess fat like that, they can't even really walk without becoming exhausted. And I know, because I used to be around people. I used to have somebody, a friend of mine, who was obese. And me and my other friend had to get him on his weight loss journey because we would just be walking around a parking lot and he'd be sweating before we get to the building. I'm like, man, damn. He would have to carry, and I'm not dissing him, but he would have to carry a towel because every time he would move, he would be sweating because he was exhausted. Carrying all that excess fat was exhausting for him. That's not healthy. That's not good. Okay. Now, let me see. She says, notice that Nikki is really difficult. Nikki is really difficult for Black women to correct other Black women without them getting offended. Exactly. It's really, it is. And that's a shame. And we need to bring that back. Okay. Because when it comes to self-correction, you need somebody. Sometimes people are going to pull you to the side, and sometimes they're going to be all like, hey, you can't, I don't know what's going on. You want to talk, but you got to get it together. And then sometimes people are going to pull you to the side and be like, hey, I don't know what's wrong with you. Get it together, because you really tripping right now. You bugging for real. You need to get it together, or you need to get out of here. That's what they would tell you, and you have a balance, but at least they care enough to tell you without you getting in your feel. Oh, you shaming me. You shaming me. Yeah, okay, I'm shaming you because I know that's not your peak. I know that's not your potential, and I want to see it. But you're not acting the way you are acting is not going to manifest that. All right, so let's get to some of the comments before we move on to the main subject here. While we're still on this. Okay. You have people saying it's crazy because now I guess this, how Twitter doesn't have an edit button yet. So I'm going to give that a pass. But look, she says it's crazy because y'all don't have the same energy for skinny people who eat burgers every day, but it's always a health concern. Okay. Okay, here's the thing. And then I said, you're missing the point. If we did tell skinny people they're doing something unhealthy, nobody's going to say we're shaming them. But if you say that about fat people, then you're wrong. That's the issue. Hell, there's a lot of skinny people who have crazy unhealthy habits. I used to work with this one girl who literally said that she does not drink water. Now, she was a Caucasian. She said she does not drink water. She drinks Coke. She's like, yeah, I don't drink water. I just drink Coke. You just drink Coke. You don't drink water. She says she doesn't drink water because water has no taste to it. That's literally what she said. Okay. And you can only imagine how yellow her teeth was, by the way. But, I mean, when people got on her, like, no, you need to, and she wasn't a overweight woman like that. She wasn't like no obese woman, but people's like, damn, you got to drink water. What is wrong with you not drinking water? What do you think this is? You're going to create a whole bunch of health problems. And nobody said, oh, why are you shaming me? Why are you shaming me like that? No, exactly. Coke messes, yeah, it was a woman. Coke it was messing with her kidneys. It was real bad. She later did get health issues. And she honestly, I think she had a problem because it got something, and I don't want to put her business out there, but y'all don't know who it is. But it got such to a point where she got a divorce because of it, because I guess her husband was trying to get her to drink water. I mean, and she just wasn't going. So it got real bad. It got really bad. And that's what I'm saying. When we tell skinny people that they're doing something unhealthy, nobody's gonna say you're shaming, you're shaming, you're shaming. Nobody's gonna say that. Okay. Now, let me go. I want to get to some of the other comments. Okay. Some of the other earlier comments that hold on, let me see. Was this one? Um it was a lot. Now this woman, okay. What do you mean lying? All right. Society is constantly calling plus size women and plus size women fat. Um the way you are plus size is because you have an excess of body fat. You have a more than average amount of body fat and you're a little chunky. But calling a woman chunky seems a little bit harsher than calling a woman plus size. That's just a little cuter way of saying, "Oh yeah, I'm just plus." No, you're just kind of chunky. You're fat. I mean, what makes you plus size? Let's be honest. It's the amount of fat you have. Now, she says, society is constantly calling plus size women fat, worthless, and ugly. I'm not even calling plus size women or fat women worthless and ugly. They're not worthless and ugly. And sometimes it is a level of bullying when it comes to people who are fat. And I'm not trying to do that. Like, I didn't make any jokes about the sisters there. But, okay, worthless and fat, do you mean that, yeah, you're not in shape and you should get in shape, especially women. Okay, trust me, I was fat. I know. I lost weight. I didn't lose weight because of the idiots online telling me I needed to. I did it because I saw other women my size lose weight, and that inspired me. Exactly. And here's the thing. But the thing is that you lost the weight because you knew the weight was a problem. That is the issue. That's the thing. You knew the weight you had was a problem. You knew that. Okay. Now you say, my coworker recently told me I look bad because I lost weight. I didn't respond because she was overweight. And that's the thing. These women, they don't want to be around women that are in shape. They don't want to be around women that they feel look better than them, because that makes you feel bummy. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that segues us into another question, on our other subject about bumminess. Okay. Now, when you're around somebody, and this kind of goes with the crab in a bucket mentality, and I did a video on this not like a year ago, last year. When it comes to the crabs in a bucket mentality, it affects our people because we have a thing where we want to feel, we know we have a problem. We know things need to change. We know we need to do better. We understand all of these things, but we're trying to kind of live in denial. And when you're around a bunch of people who are of the same ilk as you, when you're around a bunch of, if you're a fat person, if you're around a bunch of fat people, you're not gonna really feel that fat. Okay. When you're a dumb person, and I'm not saying that they're dumb, but when you're a dumb person and you're around a lot of other dumb people, you're not really gonna feel like the dumb one in the group. Like, let's use this as an example, and I've used this before. Okay. um we were all in class before, in school, high school, middle grade, middle school, all that stuff. And there were times when our grades were really not that favorable. Let's just be honest. Now, there might be some people in here who just might have been an A student their entire life, and good for you. Okay, it's Black empowerment right there. But for a lot of us, we were not A students our entire life. Now, where there's classes that, you tried hard and you might have got a C minus, you might have got a D or an F. Now, when you picked that paper up and you saw you didn't pass the test, you didn't pass the exam, or whatever the case may be, you feel some type of way about yourself. You feel bad about yourself. Now, you feel a little bit, and let's just be honest, you would feel a little bit better at that point in stage in your life if everybody else failed the test too. because then you get to feel about yourself, okay, well, I know I didn't fail the I know I failed the test and I wanted to pass, but at least I'm not the dumb one. Everybody failed it, so I can't be the dumb one. I don't feel that bad about myself. But you would feel worse about yourself when you failed the test and then you look around and everybody else got an A. Everybody else did better than you. You would feel like, damn, I'm really stupid. I'm really the dumb one. So, to a small degree, you want other people to fail because that makes you feel better about yourself. That makes you feel like less of a failure. Instead of saying, I might have got an F, but I'm glad you got an A. I'm glad you passed the exam or the test or whatever the case may be. I'm just going to work on myself and I'm going to try better. I'm going to try harder. I'm going to do better next time. That's what you should be telling yourself. But instead, a lot of people, especially in that, teenage, immature age, a lot of people would want the downfall of other people. A lot of people would want that. Okay. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Family, let's please make sure we are leaving a like. Let's please make sure we're leaving a like and please make sure we are sharing this broadcast. Okay. So that's the importance of people. Yeah, and exactly too. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You never want to be the smartest person in the room. You always want to be in a room where people can improve you. You always want to be around a group of people that can improve you. So, and this is what it comes to. Oh, I'm fat. So I want to be around fat people. Just about what Nikki was talking about. I'm fat, so I want to be around fat people. I don't want people to be skinny around me because when you have a skinny person next to a fat person, it makes the fat person more fat, which is why they always have like the skinny, in shape white girl around the overweight black girl to make the black girl look that much more overweight. They do it all the time, and that's why they do that. Okay. And that segues me into the conversation of we have to do better for ourselves. Don't get mad at somebody for doing better than you. Okay. Look at whoever is doing better than you and take heed. Say, you know what? Whatever you're doing, that's what I need to be doing. Whatever I'm messing up, I want to do better for myself. So I'm going to reflect and I'm going to do what's best for myself. Okay, I'm gonna build myself. I'm gonna do better for myself. Now, I want to get into the main topic, and I said all of this stuff because I wanted to build up to this, because all of this goes when it comes to lying to yourself. All of this goes when it comes to developing yourself, doing better for yourself. That's the theme of tonight's broadcast. Okay, self-improvement, Black empowerment. All right. So check this out. I made this post saying, message for Black men. You cannot be a leader if you're broke. Focus on getting your weight up. Now, I did not at all feel that this would get the backlash that it did. I knew there were going to be some people all like, oh my God, everything ain't always about money. Everything isn't always about money. But there was a lot of people upset about this. And I want to break this down because I feel like this is an important teaching moment right here. Okay. Now, I want you to pay very close attention, okay, to what I said. I said, message for the Black men. You cannot be a leader if you're broke. And then I followed that up with focus on getting your weight up. And I have now I know it's a little dark. I have the arm, arm emoji, and then I had the dollar sign emoji. I hope you guys can see the dollar sign emojis right there. I don't know why it's black, it's not green, so you might not be able to see it, but it's there. Now, the second, when I followed up with focus on getting your weight up, that should let people know that I'm saying this in hopes, and I'm saying this letting you know that, okay, this is a bit of tough love. What you can't do, when you're in this position, so you need to focus on getting out of that position. That's pretty much what I said. That was the intent. I didn't mean any malice behind it. I didn't mean to shame or to bash or to do anything. Now I want y'all to see some of the comments. This almost got 100 quote retweets. Now a lot of people liked it, a lot of people agreed with it, and a lot of people disagreed. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into some of the disagreements. Okay. Okay. Now, this person says only followers need leaders. This is that's in my pocket. It has nothing to do with the next man, vice versa. Now, when I say a leader, let me break this down. As black men, as just men in general, especially as black FBA men, are we not supposed to be the leaders of the community? We are supposed to be the ones leading the charge. We're supposed to be the ones leading the community. We're supposed to be the ones making things better, taking the initiative, being on the front lines. We're the ones who are supposed to do that. And we know we're supposed to do that. And a lot of brothers and sisters are doing that. Okay. Well, I'm saying brothers because I'm talking about the brothers real quick. A lot of the brothers are doing that. We're supposed to be making sure that gets done. Okay. That's our job. So, let me see if you guys can see it right here. I'm gonna just zoom in a little bit. Okay, hating. Now this dude is always hating on me. I'm not really sure. He hates me a lot more than I'm confused because when speaking on church leaders, people get mad that they got money. Okay. The issue is that when it comes to the church, people get mad that they have money because they feel like they are not using their money properly. Okay. And people feel like they're being finessed. Okay. Now, I want to get to people are misunderstanding. Yeah, so a lot of people were getting this. A lot of people understood this. Hold on, let me see what you had to say. I had enough for today. Now, the people who got now look at this. People like this. Respectfully, if that were true, white people would be great leaders. Now, let me break something down real quick. In that tweet, I didn't say being rich. First off, the word rich didn't come out of my mouth. It didn't come out of my mouth. I said not broke. There is a big difference. There's a big middle ground between being not broke and being rich. I didn't say you have to be rich to be a leader. I just said you can't be broke. And when I say broke, I mean financially struggling and dependent on somebody else to take care of you. That is what I mean when I say broke. You can't be barely making it and then say I'm qualified to be a leader for multiple reasons. Why I say that is because number one, you have to be able to lead yourself to lead other people. Let me take this out the way because I want you guys to really feel me on this. I am the oldest of a bunch of siblings. Okay. I got a bunch of little siblings and I'm the oldest. So I'm kind of like the leader of my siblings. What I learned is the best way to lead, especially as a black man, because you have in this generation, black men are really not taken serious. That's just what the truth is. Black men are not taken that serious. And that's not our fault. That's the fact that a lot of the dominant society has mocked us, has made fun of us, has defamed us. They've done a lot to make it to where we're taking as jokes. We're not taken serious as real men. But unfortunately, to a degree, that's the reality of how a lot of people view us. We're not taken serious because our older generation also, they like to preach and they like to preach and preach and preach and preach, but they don't actually show anything. They don't show anything. Okay, all right. Somebody just said something. What you have to do in order to be an efficient leader, the best way, especially as a black man nowadays, is to lead by example. You have to show people. I had to realize that, if I'm saying, hey, you got to wake up early so you can get yourself ready for class, ready for work. You don't want to be running out the house. You want to wake up, wash your face, brush your teeth, get out there, prepare yourself the day before, You got to study. Sometimes you got to turn the game off. Sometimes you can't go outside and kick it with your friends and all that. You can't do all of that. You're gonna have to focus on yourself. Now, that would fall on deaf ears if they see me doing that all the time. If I tell people, hey, all of this smoking and drinking, y'all can't be doing all this smoking and drinking is bad for your body. And then I'm on Snapchat or Instagram or whatever the case may be, social media, and they see me smoking and drinking. They'd be all like, okay, this message that you preaching to me, you don't even believe in. So why should I take this serious? That's what people would say. Now, that's not necessarily the truth just because somebody who smokes and drinks tells you you shouldn't smoke and drink doesn't make what they're saying untrue. Okay. If a homeless person tells you to be smart with your money, you're not going to say, well, I'm not going to be smart with my money because you're homeless. So why should I take anything you have to say to account? Just because the messenger might not be great up to par doesn't mean the message isn't up to par. You know, you can still, the message can come from anybody. They don't have to have it together for the message to be correct. But the thing is that when you want your message to be well received among a group of people, to be impactful among a group of people, you have to have yourself together. All right. That means you have to, you know, you got to be out there working these jobs. You know, you got to be out there making sure you're well groomed, you're clean, you're neat, you're organized, you're sophisticated, you're mannerly. Okay. You have to be out there making sure you move in a way of righteousness. You have to be making sure, hey, I'm studying, I'm working on my business, I'm working on my career, I'm working on this project. I'm showing, I'm leading by example. So that way when people see me, and I say, hey, the key to working out is the key to losing weight or the key to getting in shape is you have to be consistent. Okay, well, if they see me eating Dunkin' Donuts every day and I'm not in the gym, they're like, oh, like if the women who I just showed you in that video, if they was to tell you, oh, you got to be consistent, they were like, oh, yeah, dude. All right. Consistently in the gym, like you're not in the gym. But if somebody say, "Hey, I was at this point in my life, but you got to be consistent," and I'm showing you it's hard to be consistent, but I'm doing it. I'm leading by example. And sometimes you don't even have to tell people. When people see you, they're gonna notice you. A lot of people will notice, man, this person is working hard. She's getting it done. He's getting it done. I want to be on their level. Or I'm taking inspiration off of what they're doing. They're stepping really, they're making big steps right now. They're really improving their life. They're really improving their career, their character, their finances. I need to be kind of taking characteristics from them. That's what black men need to be doing to be taken serious. When you got a black man standing on a corner all day, and I'm not saying all FBA brothers, but I'm saying the ones that do. When you have bummy black dudes who can't seem to hold a job down, who don't want to really do better for themselves, who rely on other people, they can preach to you all day long. You're not going to take them serious. Clearly, you're not even applying what you're trying to preach to me. Like, don't try to coach me when I'm at a higher status in my life than you are. I don't want to be coached by that's like the person who got the F tutoring the person who got the B. Yeah, I didn't get an A, but I want to follow behind the people who got the A. I don't want to follow behind the people who got the D and the F. No. So that's the important part of leading by example. Number two, when it comes to finances, if you can, my grandmother told me this, and I said this in the space that I played earlier today. If you can't pay the cost, you cannot be the boss. That is just the reality of everything. The one who pays the cost is the boss. That's why Black Lives Matter was so corrupt, because Black Lives Matter was being funded by a whole bunch of white liberals. And the one who pays for stuff, they're the ones who run things. That's why he got corrupt. Well, it was really corrupt from the beginning because that's what it was intended to do. But that's one of the biggest things. Now, if it was funded by the grassroots, it wouldn't have turned out that badly. But it wasn't. It wasn't funded by us. You're not going to be able to tell you got a woman, you're not going to be able to tell your woman, hey, I'm the man of the house, I respect you as my woman. I'm not trying to, abuse you or whatever the case may be, but I am the man of the house, so this is how this household is going to move. This is the order of how things are going to happen. If you're some bummy dude, if she's taking care of you, she's not going to feel that way. Exactly. Thank you. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share this broadcast. Subscribe, like, and share the broadcast. Thank you, family. All right. So let me continue. That's why I'm saying you can't lead efficiently. Okay, let me get this off the screen real quick. Now we have more people. Okay. Now, what he said has always been true. The most influential black men don't financially struggle. The issue with black men sometimes is that we're psychologically reached to the point where we won't accept any more responsibility for anything else, even at times when we should. We do need to accept, we got to accept that. Now, okay. People saying I struck a nerve. You can't be a leader if you're dumb without spiritual clarity. Money can't give you that. Now, another thing too, and look at this bad message. Every leader we had in our community that did something was poor. You don't have to be rich in order to lead. Stop this. Okay. Now look at this. Okay. And this person, Lord have money or mercy. This is a couple of steps away from serverism and do-it-yourselfism. Shaking my head. Do-it-yourselferism, something like that. The majority of our leaders got us this far would be disqualified based off this statement if we kept it a buck. Listen, okay, now we're going to get into the narrative that, majority of our leaders are poor. Malcolm X died broke. A lot of them were saying that, and that kind of offended me. Malcolm X died broke. Martin Luther King was broke. These people were broke. Jesus was broke. They literally said, Jesus, what about Jesus? Jesus was broke. Okay, well, all right. You can't lead if you're broke. And the exception being that you can walk on water. If you can walk on water and turn water into wine, then that would be the exception. Like, do you see how far they reached? These people, Malcolm X was broke. First off, let me talk about the whole Malcolm X was broke thing. Don't know where y'all getting that from. Y'all really need to study. See, when y'all listen to these white liberals will tell you anything about Malcolm X. They just a few years ago, they keep trying to peddle the narrative that Malcolm X was bisexual. So you gonna listen to the same people who said Malcolm X was bisexual, which he wasn't, to saying Malcolm X was broke. Malcolm X had some issues going on with the house because the house was owned by Elijah Muhammad at the time, and it was issues going on with the Nation of Islam at the time. Elijah Muhammad wasn't broke at all by any means. And Elijah Muhammad was the one who, if we're going to just tell the whole truth, he was the one who put Malcolm X wouldn't have been Malcolm X without Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad was the one who molded and made Malcolm X. I'm just being honest. This isn't a diss to Malcolm or a diss to the nation. I'm just trying to tell the truth. And Elijah Muhammad was able to accomplish things that he did in the nation, making Malcolm X, making Louis Farrakhan. He was able to have these people set up because he wasn't broke. People listened to the nation. The nation was so influential because the nation wasn't broke. When Malcolm was really at his peak, and Malcolm didn't live that much longer after, the separation between him and the nation. So that's why I'm saying when Malcolm in the mid 60s, well, it wasn't really the mid 60s, it was like the early 60s when he was going around and he was talking about the nation, that he needed funding to do that. Dr. King, he needed funding to do that. When he was going to Chicago, when he was going down south, when he was going over here, these people needed funding. You can't do anything without money. They needed funding. Okay, they might not have themselves have owned multiple businesses, and they might have not have been multi-millionaires, but they still had funding. You can't say that they were broke because their mission was being paid for. That is what I was saying the whole time. I'm saying these people, You can't do anything. Malcolm X wouldn't have been able to be as efficient if he didn't have the funding necessary. This man was traveling across the world. You need money to do that. You need money to go across the world, and to go to Africa, and to come back, and to go to this state, and to go to that state, and to give this speech and that speech. That was his life. Malcolm X didn't have a 9 to 5. So how was he able to do that? He had the funding to back him up. Dr. King had the funding to back him up. They had the funding to spread their message. These people had the fundings to spread their message. You can't do anything if you don't have the funding. Malcolm X is actually a perfect example of how, when you have the funding, you can create and spread a powerful message. Now, if Malcolm X never met Elijah Muhammad, if he never was a part of the nation, but if he still had the same message, his message probably wouldn't have gotten as far, nowhere near at all. But it was because he was Elijah Muhammad's minister, to where he was able to push out that message with the audience that he was able to reach because of the nation. All right. That's just the reality of it. You need the funding. If Malcolm X was alive today, he would say, yeah, you need the funding. You need the money. You can't do nothing without the money. Your message can't be spread properly without the money. You can have the best message ever. How is it going to reach people without the money? You can't do it without the money. You can't organize anything efficiently without the money. You can't do it. Okay. Let me see. Lewis says, sorry, brother, I see it as y'all fault. You don't physically fight back white supremacists. You want to follow the colonizer's prototype, obsessed to leaning on self-preservation. I don't know what you talking about. Obsessed on leaving on self-preservation. I'm just gonna ignore that. I don't know. Maybe you just need to sober up a little bit. Okay. Thanks for watching. But yeah, it's about self-improvement. Okay, let me look through, see if I have some of the comments. Okay. People saying this is a broke man's mindset, telling black men that they need to get their finances up. And see, this is the thing. Because a lot of people, there was a space recently before the space that I hosted. There was a space where even Marcel disagreed. And this isn't, I don't want anybody to go around saying that Afro and Marcel are beefing or we got into it. In my space, you can clearly tell that we settled the issue. I was able to, talk this situation out. We talked it out, in front of hundreds of people. I was able to convince him, that of what I was saying was correct. And that's what it was. So don't go around saying there's no beef. We still on the same agenda. We're still on the same agenda. But as far as leading in general, that's the whole, okay, you still need to respect me as a man and as a king and as a leader, but I don't have to do anything as a leader. I just deserve this intrinsic respect from you. And listen, let me tell something to the black men out here. As a black man, you won't get any intrinsic respect at all. Okay. And to a degree, it's not our fault. It's not our fault that we're broke. It's not. And I was just talking about that when I was made my reparations broadcast, because they're saying this is like anti-reparations. Don't know how. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. Don't know how they're saying that, but this isn't anti-reparations for me to say we can get our finances together. That's not anti-reparations at all. This isn't pull yourself up by your bootstraps talk at all. That's not at all. Okay, not to any degree. Okay, this is saying, we're gonna get to that in just a little bit. But to say this is a broken, you can lead. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be rich. First off, I didn't say rich. But to say, I can lead efficiently and I don't have to have the finances. And when you don't have the finances, everything you do relies on other people. You need other people because you need the money. You can't get around the fact that the money is necessary. You can never get around that fact. The money is always necessary. You can't get around that. So you're depending on other people, but you want to be in charge. It does not work like that. To the brothers out there, it doesn't work like that. You gotta pay the cost to be the boss. That's just how it works. I hate to be the one to break the bad news, but that's just how life is. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. That's how it will always be. You have to pay the cost to be the boss. Okay. Yes, please make sure you like this broadcast. Please make sure you like this broadcast, please, and share it on your social media because we want a lot of people to get in on this. So no, you can't. All right. How are you helping people, leading people to what? Let's just ask. If you're a poor black man who's struggling, who can't make it, who can't provide for himself, what could you lead people up to? You might be able to give people some good advice, but to a certain degree, your leadership is very limited if you don't have the finances. It's very limited. A drowning person can't help another drowning person. You can't help people get financially independent, which is possible. You can't help people get to a certain place in their life if you can't accomplish that yourself. Okay. How can I teach people how to swim if I don't know how to swim? If I'm drowning, how can I do that? How can I teach people how to become their best self? How can I teach people how to become shape if I'm completely out of shape? How can I teach people how to read if I don't know how to read? How can I lead people when I can't lead myself? We really have to think about this stuff. We really have to think about this. In order to be a leader, okay, of course it takes more than finances. I'm not saying just because you're a rich person makes you a leader. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. With that implication, that would mean that all rich people or all people who have a lot of money should be leaders. They should not. And all rich people or all people who have financial independence, they're not even good people. I'm not even saying money makes you a good person, but to say, I mean, is really a deflection. That's really what it is. That's like me saying a car can't drive without tires. If you don't have tires on your car, you can't drive the car. Oh, well, what about the engine? You can't drive a car without the engine. The engine is more important. What about the engine? What about the alternator? What about gasoline in a car? Okay, I didn't say all you need is tires to drive the car. You need all of these other things too. But if you have all of these other things, you're still not going nowhere if you don't have tires. You need the well-roundedness. And this is something that I really try to teach on my channel is you need to be balanced. You need to be well-rounded. That's what you need, okay? And that's what you're striving for. That's black empowerment, okay? Being a well-balanced, well-rounded individual. It's not me saying the tires are the end all be all to a car being mobile. No, it's not. But where are you going to go without the tires? You need the tires. Yes, the engine, which is like, if you could say the engine is like the character, the engine is more important. Yeah, the engine, the character, the honorability of the person, the knowledge and equity of the person. Yeah, that's more important than maybe the finances, of course. But you're going to have an engine. The engine is going to make a lot of noise, but it's not going to go anywhere without the tires. Yeah, you can have a person who can make a lot of noise, and that noise might be the right noise, the proper noise, but you're not going to be able to accomplish anything. Your message isn't going to be able to go anywhere if you don't have the tires, if you don't have the finances to push your message. Even if we want to talk about Twitter Spaces, in Twitter, you need money to pay your phone bill. They talk about, oh, you don't need, yeah, you got to pay your phone bill. You got to pay your internet bill. The iPhone, the Android, whatever you on Twitter with, your laptop or whatever the case is, that you got to pay to keep the electricity on, to keep it charged up. That costs money to some degree. So even if you just preach it on Twitter, that costs money to some degree. When people say it's elitist, what are you talking about? Elitist? For me to say you need money to make stuff happen, what you gonna make happen without money? How is a car gonna move without tires? Like that's because a lot of the black men, not a lot of black men, but a lot of the black men who got hurt by that, they're financially struggling. And instead of somebody giving them the tough love necessary to say, come on, we can do better than this, they want to be like, oh no, what do you mean we can do better than this? I'm fine how I am. You shaming me. You sound like a white supremacist. What? I sound like a white supremacist by saying that black men, we need to work hard. We can do better than what we're doing. I'm not saying it's not white supremacy's fault. I've had several broadcasts where I said that all of our problems are white supremacy's fault. It's all white supremacy's fault. You know, if you study the 9 areas of human activity by Neely Fuller Jr., you would understand it's all white supremacy's fault, but you can still overcome that. And when I say not broke, I don't mean you have to have $100,000 in your savings account. You got to be a multimillionaire. I'm not saying that. But I am saying you can reach a point where like your rent, your utility expenses and all of that stuff is like 3 months in advance. Let's say your rent is $1,000, you have 3 months in advance for rent and other expenses. So bam, your car breaks down. Okay, I can fix my car. It's not like, oh my God, my car broke down. It's going to cost me $500. I can't afford it. What am I going to do? You know? And I'm not blaming black men for being in that position, because I understand we live in a system of white supremacy. I absolutely do. But you can still fix that. You can still better yourself, do better for yourself. Okay? It is very, very, very possible for you to be 3 months in advance when it comes to your finances. That's very possible. A lot of FBA brothers and sisters have done that. It's very possible to have a decent amount of money in the savings account. That's very possible. Okay. Now I want to get to people saying, hold on, that it's anti-reparation. Hold on, let me see something. It's anti-reparations. It's anti-reparations. Okay. Okay. Now, we're gonna get into what Marcel was saying. And this is not a diss, but I just want to show you, because we had a conversation, and you know, in that conversation, his ideology was corrected, and we were able to move forward. But look at this. It's and this was a quote tweet to what I had to say. He says, "What if because of leading, a black man became broke? One of the reasons why so many of our people are selfish and only focus on their own advancement is trying to get their own weight up instead of the weight of the community, not realizing #reparations is key." So a lot of people were taking that and they spun it to me. I was being like anti-reparations. I'm not even really unsure. I'm not even really sure what like the issue was really, because I didn't. First off, that the tweet was not necessarily about reparations at all. It really wasn't. So I'm not really sure what the issue was. But to say, okay, yeah, we do need to focus on reparations, but you can also focus on reparations and focus on building yourself. Because we're still building, we're still working on getting our reparations. Okay. We're still doing all of that stuff. But you can reach a level of comfortability, or financial comfortability. You can, you know, if this job isn't paying enough, get your skills up, get your experience up, move to another job, move to another country, move to another state if need be. Do something. There's a lot that you can do to where you have a little bit of wiggle room financially, so where you're not broke. There's a lot of FBA brothers and sisters who are grinders who are not broke. Okay. He was saying, okay, how can we become financially stable in a system that is not set up for us to be financially stable? And all in all, that is a good question. And let me answer that. You can do that by realizing what the problem is, who the problem is, who's implementing the issue, realizing the 9 areas of human activity, okay, realizing the system of white supremacy, and then counteracting that with counter racism. You can do that. You had millionaires one and two generations right after chattel slavery. The system wasn't set up for them then. The system wasn't even set up for us to build a Black Wall Street. They want to talk about, yeah, we destroyed a Black Wall Street. They destroyed our Black Wall Streets. They destroyed our Black Wall Streets. And that's very true. That's only because we wasn't capable at that time to properly defend our Black Wall Streets. Yeah, we understand redlining. Yeah, we understand the Highway Act. And I've given several detailed broadcasts about that. We understand those things. But the system wasn't even set up for us to have the businesses necessary for them to implement a plan to destroy it in the first place. But we have, as FBA people, we've always overcome. We've always done that. And we can still do that. We can still do that, very much so. I would set that message not to say, hey, it's not white supremacy's fault, it's your fault. No, I'm not saying it is white supremacy's fault. It is 100% their fault. But you can't beat it. You can overcome it. Okay? I don't want you to think like, okay, well, white supremacy, they're just not going to allow me to become financially stable. No, no. They are going to put obstacles in your way. All right. But you can find a way to maneuver that. A lot of black, and I'm not to say if you're poor is 100% your fault. What is white supremacy? No, we have to understand there is a nuance to this. And this goes back to the importance of being balanced, because when I tell you, as a balanced person physically, financially, you also have to be a balanced person mentally and intellectually. You have to understand, okay, white supremacy is preventing things from happening, is preventing my progress, is stopping the progression of my people. And we have some members of our people who are not doing what they should be doing to counteract the oppression of white supremacy. Okay. With that being said, I mean, let's use our sister Harriet Tubman as an example. The system wasn't built for her to run away from slavery. We can look at the Maroons, for example. The system wasn't built for the Maroons to free themselves and free other black people from slavery. Yes, we know the system isn't built for that stuff, but us as our people, as foundational people, we can and will find a way to overcome those things. We have always done it since slavery. We've always done it. The system wasn't set up for Nat Turner to form a revolution, a revolt, and we won. The system wasn't set up for us to defeat the Confederacy. And we won. FBA won the Civil War. Don't let anybody else tell you that. It was FBA, foundational black Americans, who won the Civil War. It wasn't the Union. We saved the Union, okay? We saved them. They were going to lose to the Confederacy. We saved the Union, all right? Black people, the foundational black Americans saved them. That we've always been behind the 8 ball. We've always had this chip stacked against us. We've always had the odds stacked against us. That's always been our history. But we have always overcome. I'm not saying it's our fault. I'm not saying we're to blame. I'm not saying they're not the problem. I'm not saying we should ignore the obstacles. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying what we can't do is we can't pretend that we can be efficient without the finances. I'm saying what we have to do is we have to focus on bettering ourselves. When they say Malcolm X, if Malcolm X was poor, Malcolm X would not have been as efficient as he was. Malcolm X is remembered as, especially to FBA, as one of the greatest black men ever, because Malcolm X was able to do what he did, and because he had the finances to do what he did. Malcolm X wasn't no person who just walked state to state. You think he just got on a canoe and paddled to Africa and then paddled back? No, took a plane. How did you get on the plane? It cost money to get on the plane. What do you mean he was broke? Malcolm X, if you don't know, shortly before he was murdered, okay, by the FBI. We've already broke that down. He was murdered by the FBI in COINTELPRO. But shortly before that, he was going to open up his own masjid and then another facility. He was talking about opening up a facility, like a non-religious facility for black people, for black Americans. Okay. As he called them, Afro-Americans. So when you're talking about he was broke, what white liberal are you listening to? Who told you that? All right. When it comes to certain, you need that. And we shouldn't be, oh, yeah, I don't have it. Yeah, I only got $50 in my bank account. I'm broke. I'm not saying me, but I'm broke. I don't want to hear what I can't do if I'm broke. I don't want to hear that because that hurts my feelings. So shut up. You're wrong. No, no, no. Telling black people, telling black men, especially as a black man who wants to see the progression of black men, no, we can do better than this. You know, I was at a certain point in time when my bank accounts was going back and forth in the negative. I wasn't making that much money, but I realized, okay, well, first off, having one stream of income, that's just not it. You just can't have one stream of income. You got to have multiple streams of income. You got to be able to save your money, budget your money. You got to be able to move your money in this way. Okay, let's look at which insurance is the best insurance for you in particular. Let's look at what deal is the best deal for you in particular. You can do things, you can strategize, you can develop yourself into a place where you're not financially broke or damn, I can't afford to buy light bulbs until Friday because I don't get paid for until Friday. You're eating noodles, and I'm not blaming you, but you're eating noodles because you can't afford a sandwich every day. And I'm not shaming you, but I want you to do better. I want our black men to do better. That's what I want. That's why I said get your weight up. I didn't say go sit down. I didn't say you're not useful. I didn't say you don't have a voice. I didn't say you're not important. I said you need to get your weight up. Okay? We need heavy steppers in this movement. I'm not saying you're not a part of the movement, but you know what's better than an army of small ants is an army of big ants. What's better than an army of weak soldiers is an army of strong soldiers. That's what's better. This is the United Independentary I'm stuttering my words, but when our brother Neely Fuller Jr., when he was talking about the United Independentary, the concept of being united and independent, you have to be a one-man army yourself. In order to do that, you have to be a well-rounded person. Now, I don't use this term a lot when I talk about, alpha males. I don't really use that often. But to be an alpha male is not just about, oh, I got swag, I got money and charisma. It's about first your emotional state. And our brother Jason Black broke this down. It's about your emotional state. Okay, you have to be emotionally balanced, emotionally at your peak. You have to be physically there. Okay, you can't be no 500-pound obese man. You have to be physically in shape. You have to be financially put together. You have to be psychologically put together. All of these things make the alpha male. All of them. The balance of all of them. Now, in a lot of cases, you might have one that supersedes the other one. You have one that might be lacking, but you need all of those four elements. Just like with a car, in order for a car to be a good car, you don't just need the engine. You need the engine, you need the transmission, you need the gasoline, you need the tires, you need all of these things. Without one of these things, they're useless. You need the balance to make it work. You need them all to make it work. And this is what I'm trying to tell the black brothers and sisters out there. We can do it. First off, even if every black, and I just got to say this because I don't want people to twist this into me being anti-reparations. I don't understand how you guys can say that. I just got done with a whole reparations playlist. I have a whole playlist on reparations, okay? But even if every single foundational black American was rich, I'm talking about LeBron James, because they always bring him up for some reason. If we were all rich like LeBron James, we would still be owed reparations. They owe us whether we're rich or not. Okay. Now, they put us in this impoverished position. We're the most impoverished people in the country. So we do need it, but we deserve it, whether we need it or not. We deserve it. When they say things like, well, does LeBron James, does he get reparations? Does Michael Jordan, does he get reparations? Yes, they damn well do. They damn sure do get reparations. They damn sure do get reparations. They're foundational black American, they get reparations. It does not matter how much money they have. They could be homeless FBA, they could be a billionaire FBA. If they're FBA, they get reparations. Cut and dry. So I'm not saying just because we have money means that we don't get reparations. Okay. I'm not saying that. But I really want this message to get put out there. First off, a lot of the gaslighting where people are talking about, oh, I gotta be rich, I gotta be rich, I gotta be rich. Stop. As black men, let me talk to the brothers real quick. As black brothers, we gotta do better. I was just talking about this with the sisters, how the sisters have this like little sisterhood of, oh, I'm gonna let you be fat and obese and eat your way into an early grave, and I'm not gonna let anybody talk about you because I don't want you to hurt. I don't want your feelings to get hurt. I don't want my feelings to get hurt. Okay, we got the same thing with the bummy black dudes. We got a circle of bums who comfort each other, who say, "Oh, you don't have to do better because we all bums here. You don't have to be rich." These the same women who be these the same dudes who call women gold diggers all the time. Are you guys making sure you liking this broadcast? How many likes do we have? We need more likes. We need more likes, family. We need more likes. We do not have enough of them. I don't know what's going on. We need the likes up. Now, I know a lot of people are busy right now and they're going to watch on the playback, so the likes will be there. But this channel, and I just looked at the algorithm too, is being shadow banned. I'm not going to say any names because I'm not 100% sure right now. But based off of me looking at the algorithm, my videos are constantly being flagged. People have been going on a flag campaign of this channel. So I do get ops out there who don't want to see me succeed. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the crabs in a bucket mentality. They see me growing and they see themselves not growing to the point where I am. So now they're all like, oh, well, if I don't want Afro Elite to grow because I can't grow. My YouTube channel's not taking off. I don't want his to take off either. I don't like what he said in this Twitter space, so I don't want him to grow. So they're flagging it. But the thing is, when you work on truth, when you speak on truth and honorability, the message will always get out there. I don't even necessarily, well, I do care, but I don't even really care that much that you guys are flagging the channel, because the fact that you guys are flagging the channel and people are still coming back here, people are still watching, means that to some degree I'm speaking the truth. To some degree what I'm saying is correct. The fact that people are still listening and saying what I'm have to say is true, to some degree, I'm speaking the truth. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily, I do have proof that a lot of people have been going, not necessarily saying a flag campaign, but a lot of people have been going on a dislike campaign. And I say that to say, because when you own the YouTube channel, you get to go into what they call the YouTube studios, and you get to see the analytics of each and one of your broadcasts. So I get to see the likes versus dislikes. Now, YouTube has changed their format to where you can only see the likes, the number of likes. You can't see the number of dislikes. So I'm going on my thing and I'm just looking at my algorithm and I'm all like, okay, I'm seeing people just click on the video and then dislike it. And then click on another video and then dislike it. And I'm pretty sure if they're doing that, they're probably flagging the video too. So I'm all like, okay, is it really that serious? Where you can't beat me intellectually? My point makes more sense than your point. So what you're going on the channel, I'm talking about they're going back to like my early videos, one of the ones I did in 2020, and they're dislike. I'm like, I see the spike in dislikes growing. So I'm all like, okay, it's a number of y'all going on a dislike campaign. All right. The real ones will always stand the test of time. So it doesn't matter. This YouTube channel isn't about me. This YouTube channel is about the people. It's about making sure black people reach a level of black empowerment. That's all that is. So if they take this YouTube channel down, but this YouTube channel has helped people, then that's the goal. That's what I was here for in the beginning. That's all that matters to me. So they can do what they want to do, but it shows the lack of integrity in them, and it shows that this is the right message. So I really want us as a family, us as a team, to make sure we go on a counter narrative, to make sure we're doubling down on the likes, to make sure we're doubling down on the shares and the comments and the interactions, okay? And the watch time too. It's very important that you watch the entire broadcast. But yes, brothers and sisters, we've almost been on for an hour and 30 minutes. So that's really what I wanted to speak on. But there's a danger when it comes to lying to yourself. when it comes to lying to yourself, and I have to reiterate this again, when it comes to the lying to yourself, okay, um, that's a coping mechanism to where you don't seek self-improvement. I need to seek self-improvement. Everybody needs to seek self-improvement. Nobody's perfect. Nobody at all, ever. And nobody will ever be. And that's okay. As long as you are working to develop yourself, to build yourself, to do better for yourself, and to make yourself a better person. You need to go to sleep and analyze yourself. Like, you know what? Um, I want to be a better Afro Elite tomorrow than I was today. I want to be a better Afro Elite in 2023 than I was in 2022. And I want to be a better Afro Elite in 2024 than I was in 2023. It's always about self-improvement. Okay? We as Foundation Black Americans, that's our culture. Our culture is getting it out the mud. Our culture is about making turning lemons into lemonade. Our culture is about fighting against the odds and beating the odds. Our culture is about winning the game when you're behind the 8 ball. That is our culture. We should be proud of that. That's what I want to preach to you guys. Yeah, you guys are down, and we will have brothers that are down. When we talk about our brother like Tariq Nasheed said at one point in time he was down, he was broke as hell, and then he focused on bettering himself. He focused on developing himself, and now Tariq is in a position that a lot of people would kill to be in. Our brother Jason Black, if you guys have listened to him long enough, he said that at one point in time he lost all his businesses. He lost everything. And he got it back because he said, yeah, just because I lost it, just because I'm down does not mean I have to stay down. When we talk about, and these are FBA brothers, see, this is the representation of FBA that we need, okay? The representation of I will be down temporarily, but I will not be staying down. When I say broke, I don't just mean broke as in financially, I mean broke as in mentally. Just because Tariq was down at that point does not mean he was broken mentally. Just because Jason Black was down at that point does not mean that he was broken mentally. You can see that these people said, you know what? I'm not broke. I'm just temporarily financially, in a situation. And I will overcome that. And they did overcome that, okay? Yes, white supremacy will be in opposition to you. Yes, white supremacy will sabotage you. Yes, white supremacy will take things away from you. You can look at our brother Elijah Muhammad. Okay, Elijah Muhammad was the world heavyweight champion. And then he took a stance, and as an FBA brother, he took a stance on his principle and said, hey, I'm not going to Vietnam War just because you guys drafted me. Those people in Vietnam, they're not my subjugators. They're not my oppressors. Okay. I got that in the thing when Muhammad Ali was talking about you're my enemy, you're my oppressors, you're the one subjugating me, you're the one who's oppressing me. I got that in the theme when every single broadcast starts, when that small theme that comes up before, you can hear Muhammad Ali saying that. That's one of my favorite quotes from him. He's all like, I'm not about to go fight some people and you guys are the ones my enemy. I got to come back over here and I got to still deal with you guys. You guys still you have black people coming back from World War II still being lynched in their damn uniforms, and we're supposed to be going over there risking our lives to be for the sake of America, and America is oppressing us. America is not giving us our reparations, and we're supposed to be going to the American military and risk our lives and health and come back over here, and we still don't even get the benefit of the GI Bill, and you're still oppressing our people. Okay, we defeated the Confederacy for you all, and then you guys put us back in sharecropping the 40 acres and a mule that you guys were supposed to give Foundation Black Americans. You said, actually, no, let's give all their land back to the Confederate slave owners. And then black people had to go back and sharecrop. And man, damn all of that. Damn all of that. He stood on his principle. And because of that, he lost his title. He didn't say, oh my God, I'ma just quit boxing now. Why always me? It's just what it is. I'm never gonna box again. You guys took my title. He's saying, you know what? No, y'all took my title. That wasn't right for y'all to take my title. I'm coming back, and he took that title back. Muhammad Ali, he left on top of the game, and he came back, and he was still beating people. He was still knocking people out. He came back, and he got his championship back. Now people look at Muhammad Ali like an icon, not just because of his stance, but because what he stood for, and because of what he lost, and because of what he overcame, because he stood for something with principle. Okay, that is the energy and the spirit and the righteousness of foundational Black Americans. That is our culture, and that is something that we need to be putting forth into reality. Okay, yeah, you might be down. Yeah, you might have financial situations. Yeah, or your job might not be paying you. You might not be getting these hours. School might be tough. All of these things might be tough for you, but our history is overcoming things. We had people killing their slave owners. Slavery was tough for us, and we have people like the Maroons setting up their capping slave owners left and right, out here mopping the floor with slave owners. You have our sisters like Harriet Tubman freeing Black people from slavery. You had brothers ending slavery. We're the ones who defeated the Confederacy. This is our culture. So when I say that, I'm not disrespecting, I'm putting honor and homage to our people. This is what our people are made of. If we want to be honest, reparations is the stacks against us. The odds are against us with reparations, and we are saying we don't care that the odds are against us. They're saying, "Oh, we ain't never gonna get reparations. We ain't never gonna get reparations. Why y'all trying? That's a pipe. That's a pipe dream. That's a pipe dream. Why y'all trying to go for reparations? You'll never get reparations." We saying, "Damn that, we're getting our reparations." We're saying it doesn't matter how much the odds are stacked against us, and you can see in the last like 5 years or so, how much we've been able to push and stay consistent and firm with reparations. Now everybody has to talk about it. Now it's on the news left and right. Now you got people talking about cut the check. Everybody's talking about that because of us, because we didn't say, well, we're only going to fight when the odds are for us. We saying, you know what, reparations, the odds are against us, don't matter. We still on it. Everything the odds are against us, yeah, we still on it. We still on it. Okay. When Muhammad Ali lost his title, he's like, I'm still on it. Well, when people like Jason and Tariq, when they lost their finances, they like, well, I'm still on it. I'm not. That's not what I'm down. I am not out. I'm still in this fight. I'm still in this game. We, as Foundation Black Americans, we have the culture of being the people who are 2 touchdowns behind in the final quarter. We're in the final quarter and we're 2 touchdowns behind and we still win the game. That's our culture. We are the culture of overcoming the odds, of overcoming the obstacles, of making lemons into lemonade. That is us. That is who we are. Okay. Everybody else piggybacks off of that. We are what makes Black empowerment. Black empowerment would really cease to exist had it not been for foundationals keeping it alive. That is us. We deserve the credit for that. So when I say Black men, get your weight up, Black men, we can do it. I don't want you to say that that's anti-reparations. I don't want you to dare say that. I don't want you to say that this is sometimes me shaming you, me saying you need to. If I'm shaming you for not being held to the standard of all of our other FBA legends and icons, then maybe you do need to be shamed. Okay, because Malcolm X didn't let his difficulties stop him. Okay, Dr. Martin Luther King, they literally had their houses burned down. They wasn't like, well, I'm done. They said, you know what? Okay, I still got a mission to do. I'm still not done. Okay, and most FBA men are not like this at all. Most FBA men aren't like this at all. But this was just kind of like a motivation boost. Like if you need to see this and you need to be like, I didn't feel like getting in the gym today, but I just read this and I'm like, now I'm gonna get in the gym. Now I'm gonna run on that treadmill. Now I'm gonna get up and do some overtime at work or focus on my business, my study, my career, or whatever the case is. That's what the thing was meant for. That's what it was meant for. Okay. So that's the energy that we have. That's what I meant by that. Now, the bummy Black dudes, the few of them, if they don't want to improve, then there's nothing I can tell you. They just don't want to improve. But we as Black men, and this is my thing, when it comes to leading by an example, we also need to raise the bar of Black men. We need to raise the standard of Black men. Just like Black women, you all need to raise the standard of Black women. Now, I did see a lot of Black women, and under that's the pool video, I saw a lot of Black women like, hey, this ain't it. We ain't accepting this. This isn't cool. But then you see some who are like, oh, let them live their life, let them do that. And it's good to see especially the FBA women out there raising the standard of FBA women. Talking about, oh, look, all it is, black men don't love natural hair. That's a lie. I'm going to make videos on how to take care of our natural hair. I'm going to make videos on how we can eat to keep ourselves in shape. Okay. I'm raising the standard of black women. Okay. And as black men, that's what we're doing too. Hey, man, I know your finances is messed up, but hey, you're not a peer to us if you're sitting up there being bummy and dusty. We're not accepting you among our ranks. You need to step your game up. We are raising the standard of black men out here. I'm not saying all black men can't do it, but I'm saying we want to raise the standard to the standard that we know we can meet, the standard that we have met so many times before. We are bringing that standard back. The standard of, oh, why always me? That's gone. That's over with. I'm not allowing that for myself. I'm not allowing that for my peers. And I don't want that to be the standard of FBA men because I know we are better than that. I know that. All right. I am not going to accept that. So, as I get off here, brothers and sisters, please make sure you like, subscribe. If you're catching this on the like the tail end, make sure you go back and see the video from the beginning. If you haven't seen some of my other broadcasts, make sure you go watch those too. Those were, gems too. This channel was being attacked, but I got our brothers and sisters out here. They're liking the content, they're subscribing to the content, they're sharing the content, and we won't be stopped. The odds, like I said, as an FBA man, the odds are always against us. That don't mean nothing. Okay? That doesn't mean anything. Let me get out of here. When I say shout out to Nikki the God, our sister Tia, shout out to the mods, of course. Shout out to the mods, of course. Miss Nita. Okay. Yeah, they're talking about Jesus was broke. Oh, well, I can be broke because Jesus was broke. You not Jesus? Do you know that is the farthest reach I've ever, Jesus was broke. You reaching for the stars when you talk about I can be broke because Jesus was broke. That's you reaching and touching the damn moon. Talking about Jesus was broke. What? Okay. Anyway. We got a sister Sunkiss in here, Jay Daniels, AK Sour, okay. Our FBA sister Phoenix is in here. We got our FBA sisters and brothers in here. It's about bettering yourself. It's about bettering yourself. I see Beatzilla was in here. I see Jay Hahn was in here. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters in here. Shout out to every single last one of you. Brother Salim, yeah. Do you know how much of a reach that is? To say Jesus was broke, so I can be broke. Jesus led. Jesus was broke. Huh? Huh? What? Yes. Okay. Old gamer. Be one to every single last one of you guys. We got this. This is our culture, and we're living up to it. Okay. So. Now, brothers and sisters, I'm going to get off here. I will catch you guys later next week. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this broadcast. I appreciate you guys, brothers and sisters. As FBA, we got this. We will raise the standard. We will raise the bar, okay? We live in Black empowerment. We will preach Black empowerment, and we will create a world of Black empowerment by first empowering ourselves. We will empower ourselves to empower the rest of the society. Okay. I so much I got to say to this, but I just went to, if you guys haven't seen it, actually, let me show it to you guys real quick. I decided to pay homage to our brother Fred Hampton. It was just something that inspired me. I'll just Googled. I'm like, I wonder what the address is, and I realized I was like, oh wow, I'm really not that far from his house. So I went there. I paid homage to the house of our brother, who was the chairman of Chicago's Black Panther Party, Fred Hampton. Okay, I just want to show you guys that. Now, speaking of the Black Panthers, when Bobby Huey Newton And Bobby Seale, when they created the Black Panther Party, it just started with 2 of them. They said, hey, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to start and lead by example, and other people will do it. We're not gonna sit around, oh, everybody's not doing it, why me? We're say, hey, you know what? I don't care what everybody's doing. We're going to start it. And people saw it and they are like, you know what? I'm with this Black Panther Party. I'm riding with you guys. And then the Black Panther Party became an iconic and black empowerment movement, okay, around the nation. Because it started in California. And then it was in Chicago, it was in this and that, and all over the nation. That's our culture. We lead by example. All right. She says, yes. We got to do this. We got to do this, brothers and sisters, and we will. If you guys want to subscribe on or follow me on my social media, it is on Twitter. It is the Afro Elite, THE Afro Elite, at the Afro Elite, or you can just type in Afro Elite. I'll be the first person to pop up. And it's Afro Elite on Instagram as well too. So you guys can be checking me out on my social media. Email. The email is also afroelite10@gmail.com. So if you guys have an email for me, you can send it to afroelite10@gmail.com. Brothers and sisters, I will see you guys next week, same time, same place, Monday night. And if any updates, if I have to do a Tuesday night, that's why you guys should be following me on my social media, so you guys will know. You guys should. But you all take care, brothers and sisters. You all take care, family. We got this. We definitely have this. To my brothers and sisters, winning is our culture. We've always been the winning underdogs. Just remember that. And we will keep that. Okay? We're living for a life of black empowerment. We're creating that. It will be black empowerment that will trample the system of white supremacy and replace it with a system of justice. That's the mission. That's the agenda. So until then, family, you all be safe.